Hey Nick and Paul, I'm Matthew Lowen, and this is my multimodal display assignment. I decided to go ahead and do it on the game DigDug. So the game DigDug is a maze arcade game made in 1982 by Namco for the Atari 2600. It's a 1 or 2 player game. In the game, the main character named DigDug digs around to pump up monsters with air in order to pop them. He's digging around underground. If the monsters touch DigDug, he will die. Should DigDug run out of lives, the game is over. DigDug has 3 lives. The game is run in a grid-like system in columns and rows, or if you move left, for example, and then try to move up and down, you'll snap into the column that you are most in and then proceed in that given direction, up or down. So in the game, you have 2 different types of enemies, pukas. They look like a cherry tomato with yellow goggles and little yellow boots. And then you have Frygars, which are green dragons with red rings and red boots. They have the ability to breathe fire, and should that fire touch you, you die instantly. The game has 10 unique levels, but the game never ends. Once you beat the first 10 levels, the last 4 will repeat forever until you run out of lives. So to take a quick look at the visuals for the game, so you play as DigDug, and you start the game roughly in the middle of the screen at the bottom of the second layer of 4 layers of dirt. All 4 of these layers are different colored, with at the very top of the screen. So on top of the 4 layers of dirt, there's a single row, which is to represent kind of the surface area. The deeper you are into the ground, so on the bottommost layer is where you get the most points for killing enemies, and lesser the higher up in the map you are. You have brown rocks scattered around the map. I believe you have 3 or 4 per level. If you dig under one and it falls, it'll kill whatever it hits. This does include yourself. If you knock down 2 rocks in a level, you gain a piece of food, which spawns in the middle of the map. Should you collect that piece of food, you get more points. So to go back to the surface, so at the very top of the screen, for every level you pass, your round or your level number will be represented in flowers. So you get a yellow or a red flower for every 10 levels you pass, and you get a white flower for every single level you pass. To the right of the screen, there is a bar which spans the entire height of the screen, at the very top of which there is a high score number. Below that is your current score number. Below that is a icon representing how many lives you have. So if an actual picture of DigDug represents 1 life remaining. And then below that you have the word round and then a number representing which round you're on. Taking a look at the audio of the game. When the game begins, there's kind of a main audio, main kind of song, which is always playing in the background. And then every action within the game has its own sound. So you as DigDug, you dig through the level, so there's a certain sound for digging. There's a sound for movement when you're not digging. There's a sound for when you dig underneath a rock and that rock drops. There's a sound for when the rock hits enemies. There's a sound for any kind of death. So when you as DigDug, you fire your pump and you hit someone, there's a sound for that. There's a sound for when you start pumping the enemy. So there's really a unique sound for every kind of thing. But however, if you take a look at the game and you try playing it blindfolded, for example, there's no audio cues. There's no way to tell if an enemy is close to you or if an enemy's coming at you. You're really kind of just stuck in the dark as to that. So this slide, I have a video here. So my friend Braden is acting as the wizard. He's describing to me what I should do as I play. This recording is at the very, very beginning of the assignment, and after this, I'll play the video and I'll kind of describe what happened.
Doesn't
hit Control R.
I think you're good. Now you just gotta hit Enter, and then the main list screen's loading, and then hit Enter again. Okay.
Okay, so we're playing.
Yeah. Okay, so you're in the center. So if you move to your left, and now go up, and then right. Oh, all right. Keep going. Oh shit.
So in this video, Braden was trying to walk me through where to move and how I should move there. And so at the start of the level, he tells me to move left and then to move up. Due to the timing, I moved too far left, and then I needed to move up, but I didn't get the timing right, so I ended up moving into an entirely wrong section of the map that I should have been in. And because of this, I actually ended up walking directly into an enemy, and I lost a life in something like 10 seconds or something. When I played this game not blindfolded, so when I was looking at it, I was able to make it to level 7 my first time without losing a single life. But here I lost a life in the first level in 10 seconds. So kind of a huge difference here.
Doesn't.
So with the wizard's help, with Braden's help, it was difficult from the very beginning. I'm playing this game on PC, so without a proper kind of controller and button setup, which is what the game was originally run on. I was trying to find the Z key, which is what I used to fire my pump, and I was looking all over the keyboard, and I actually needed Braden to put my hand directly on the key, and I was using the arrow keys to move around, but I was thankfully able to find those on my own. The whole experience overall was really frustrating. There was definitely a delay in the communication between Braden thinking of what needed to happen, him putting that to words, and me comprehending what needed to happen. As I was blindfolded, the clarity of the game sounds definitely kind of arose. When I was playing and looking at the screen, I was definitely much more focused on the physical locations on the screen of the monsters, and didn't really care as much as to what sounds they made, even though that was important information. Again, when I played with my eyes, I was able to make it to level 10. I tried 3 times with the wizard. I made it to level 3 in the best one, and I died like 2 seconds into that level. I found that there was a bit of a sound overload when I was just using my ears. Braden and the noises of the game, I found themselves kind of fighting with each other, and ultimately I believe I was a little bit more confused because of that. And then I noticed too as well that there was a lot of information, missing information, information that wasn't multimodal. It was only visual. And this information was the score, the location of the enemies, and kind of DigDug's approximation to those enemies. So as a wizard, there were definitely new problems that arose, things I didn't really quite as much recognize in the moment. So these new problems were a delay in communication. So Braden had to think of what to say, how to say it, and I had to understand that. And usually that caused mistiming, so I would move to the left or to the right too far, or I wouldn't fire my pump in time to pump an enemy, and I would end up dying. I noticed that there was a grid system for the first time. I talked about that before. And then I noticed that my pump would get stuck in enemies. So say if I had 2 or 3 enemies chasing me, I would turn around and fire my pump into one of them, but while one is being pumped up, the other 2 would come and kill me. And being able to quickly kind of pump an enemy up, run away, and then let it deflate, so that would mean I had 2 enemies chasing me. It was just a very complicated thing to do visually, and Braden nor myself were really able to convey quickly enough what needed to be done. So after playing this game and having some time to kind of really reflect and consider how I would go about making this playable with only audio, I started doing some research, and I came across a man named Michael Espinoza, who plays a game named Mortal Kombat, and it's just a bunch of like kung fu fighting characters going at one another. In this game, there's a unique sound for every player's like punching or kicking, and Michael has been able to memorize all these sounds and come up with a way to either counter them or block them, or in some way get over the attack. And he's actually gotten so good at that, he can now play against pretty much any player with sight and beat them. So kind of going on about how he learned this game, it gave me this idea of taking the typical arcade kind of style cabinet, replacing the screen, and then on that screen setting up a 2D array of speakers. Paul, there should be an image of the screen on the right. Anyways, so this array of speakers would incorporate the sounds that currently exist in the game, but at a lower volume, and then new sounds would be added in to kind of correlate the enemies and their location and approximation to the main player. So each speaker where the screen would correlate to the player. So the player would make its own sound from a speaker, and then each enemy would make a noise from the speaker. And so you as a player would have your head kind of up against the speaker wall, and you yourself could hear as the enemies approach you. And I think this would be at least a way to attempt to make this game completely playable with just audio. Thank you.